This is the video for Accelerated Geometry on Section 1-2 on operations with complex numbers. In this first day, we're going to spend time just adding and subtracting complex numbers. But by the end of Section 1-2, you should be able to answer the question of how do you add, subtract, multiply, and divide complex numbers. Good news is there is no new vocabulary in this section. So adding and subtracting complex numbers is just like adding and subtracting like terms. So first thing we're going to do is look in between the parentheses and notice that whether or not we have a addition or a subtraction. So in this case, we are just adding. So we're going to find our like terms, meaning we're going to find the reals and then we're going to find the imaginaries. So if I look at this, on the left side here, 4 is real. On the right side of the addition sign, -6 is real. So we're going to write them together. So that's really 4 plus a -6 plus, and then write our imaginary numbers together. 2i plus a -7i. So 4 plus a -6 is really 4 minus 6, which is -2. And 2i plus a -7i is really 2i minus 7i, which would really make this a minus 5i. On example 2, you will notice that between we have a subtraction sign. So when it's subtraction, there's one additional step that I suggest you make so that you don't accidentally not add and subtract the right signs. So what I suggest we do is take that subtraction and distribute it to everything that follows it. So I'm going to carry down what I had before, so that's 5 minus 2i. I'm going to change the subtraction to addition, but now I'm going to change these signs. So a negative and a negative really makes a positive, and a negative and a negative really makes a positive 3i. And now I can work it just like I did before. So I'm going to put the two real numbers together, so that's 5 plus 2. And then -2i plus 3i. So 5 plus 2 would be 7. -2i and positive 3i leaves me with a positive 1i. Example 3, first thing, ask yourself, what operation are we doing? In this case, we are adding, so we can just collect like terms. So we have a 1 and a -1 and a -3i and a positive 3i. So 1 plus -1 is 0. -3i and positive 3i is 0. And so essentially, if you left it like this is correct, but essentially you would just see the answer written as 0. One more. You will notice this one has a mixture of it going on. So if you see something that's longer than just a parentheses plus or minus another set of parentheses, what you want to do is look at it and find out where the subtraction, if there is any, before a set of parentheses. So if I look at this, there's no subtraction here, but there is a subtraction here. So what I want to do is go ahead and distribute that to everything in the parentheses after it. So I'm going to carry down what I had before, that's -41 minus 6i minus 5i, minus 5, plus 2i. But now instead of a positive 5, we have a -5, and instead of -8i, we have positive 8i. And now I can just collect like terms. So I'm going to look at my real numbers. I have -41, -5, and -5, plus, then my imaginary numbers, I have a -6i, positive 2i, and positive 8i. So -41, this is really a -5 and a -5, so the -10 would give me -51. -6 plus 2 plus 8, that's -6 plus 10 would give me positive 4. And this is the end of adding and subtracting of complex numbers.